guys, getting back to you and wanting to spend a little bit more time continuing the thought of how do we worship as a community, as a family, how do we worship from home? We have gone through some of the Psalms, and we've had opportunities over the last 3 weeks to look at opportunities. We worship when we are thankful. We worship when we give praise to God about what He's done, and we worship even in seasons of sorrow, pain, and lament. So we've gone through 3 different types of Psalms. Today I want to read another one for you and hopefully open another avenue that many of us are frankly going to be very familiar with, but at home with our family and isolated, it's important for us to remember that this is another avenue of worship. I want to peek at Psalm 90 today. And what's cool about this psalm is, half of the Psalms, 2/3 of the Psalms were written by David, the shepherd king, and a good chunk of them were written by worship leaders for the people of Israel. This is the only psalm out of the 150 in the book of Psalms that was written by Moses. It's the oldest one. Moses was writing to a different audience than David or the other guys would have been writing to. They would have been writing to an established kingdom, a people who had an identity as a nation. Moses was hanging out with a slightly different crowd. When Moses wrote this psalm, that is now Psalm 90, he was writing to a group of Hebrews that had recently left Egypt, had gone into the wilderness, and had experienced some of that cycle of getting what they need, God providing for them. They complain about what they get. God is punishing them or dealing with them sometimes pretty harshly for their attitudes. And then they come back around to, okay, we're sorry. And then they'll return to the blessings and go through that cycle. Moses is writing to this crew of people when he writes this psalm. I want us to read through this one and capture a bit of the frustration that maybe the Hebrew people were experiencing. This is a good message for them. This is a good message for us now in this time. So as I read through this, I want you to just take an opportunity to remember what is being highlighted here. And let's see if you catch this. So Psalm 90, and we'll start at verse 1. It says, a psalm of Moses, the man of God. Lord, through all the generations, you have been our home. Before the mountains were born, you gave birth to the earth and the world. From beginning to end, you are God. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortals. For you 1,000 years are as a passing day, as brief as a few night hours. You sweep people away like dreams that disappear. They are like grass that springs up in the morning. In the morning it blooms and flourishes, but by evening it is dry and withered. We wither beneath your anger. We are overwhelmed by your fury. You spread out our sins before you, our secret sins, and you see them all. We live our lives beneath your wrath, ending our years with a groan. 70 years are given to us. Some even live to 80. But even the best years are filled with pain and trouble. Soon they disappear and we fly away. Who can comprehend the power of your anger? Your wrath is as awesome as the fear you deserve. Teach us to realize the brevity of life, so that we may grow in wisdom. O Lord, come back to us. How long will you delay? Take pity on your servants. Satisfy us each morning with your unfailing love, so we may sing for joy to the end of our lives. Give us gladness in proportion to our former misery. Replace the evil years with good. Now catch this ending to the chapter. Let us, your servants, see your work again. Let our children see your glory. And may the Lord our God show us his approval and make our efforts successful. Yes, make our efforts successful. I like this psalm because it's a reminder that God is on the throne, isn't he? Even before the earth was formed, God was king over all the universe. Even before any of us were a possibility in the human genome, God knew us and was in control of this story. I love that God is faithful, God is powerful, and even when our world feels like it's falling apart, even when we're in pain, when we're going through a tough time, when we're frustrated, that doesn't change who God is. I want us to worship this week. Maybe take a few moments with your family around dinner. Maybe sit down and open up this psalm and read it with your family and focus on how do we know God is God. Those are the ways that are going to remind us that he's in control. It's going to bring our attention back on him where it belongs and not on our circumstances. I believe worship is a gift that God gives us the opportunity to experience. And if every moment we live our lives with an awareness of he is God and we are not, and neither are our problems, I think those are moments of worship that he is truly pleased with. So I want to encourage you, I want to challenge you, and I want to tell you God bless you, and we can't wait to be with you again.